think the most powerful, and I would hope the most powerful, emotion is one of humor and enjoyment when they see the pieces. If somebody looks at something and smiles, that's the emotion I'm looking for. And I get the same emotion. If I'm not happy doing the piece, if the piece doesn't entertain me in some way, I stop and move on to something else.
Jeffrey's work is so massive on scale in some instances and so intricate in the process of his creation that all of it is, you know, inspiring and makes an impact on the space and the viewer. And so, and it's also wonderful to see his creative process evolve.
A fantastic venue, great. He's got a lot of work. It's, I can't believe how much work he has. He obviously never stops, so it's a great.
I just love his curiosity, and in terms of the beauty of what he creates now, I love the magical, giggling, swirly, bent metal in all the bright, vibrant colors.
I've always had an artist around our place. For a long time I've had people, but Jeffrey is by far the most interesting and most talented of them. And it's so much fun because what we do is sort of boring for the most part. We punch holes in steel, but having Jeffrey around gives a whole new dimension to coming to work.
It's fun. He's a creative man, obviously, but he's also very smart about designing for manufacturing. He's flexible in his design, which is huge for us, that if the part is off by 1/8 of an inch, it doesn't matter for this product, and it can, you know, we're not going to have a rejection. At the end of the day, he's not going to come in and say, this is no good. He's very easy to work with and a genuinely nice man.
Knowing Jeffrey personally and knowing, you know, what type of humble person that he is, never to be described really essentially as spiritual outside of through nature. To see those two things be able to come together, for him to connect with nature through his art and evoke that sense of peace and calm that you get when you're in nature through his sculptures is pretty amazing.
Going in the shop and the overall, seeing what goes into it and seeing how it starts from scratch and knowing that every piece is his imagination and what he has a vision with every single piece that he puts on. And that's what inspires me about it, is that I watch it from the ground up and I know that he names it and it means something, that every piece has a vision behind it, and that's what I really, really like about it.
He brought me this twisted piece of metal and he asked me if I could chrome plate it. And I said, really? He said, yeah. And I said, oh, yeah, I probably could because I do what everybody else doesn't want to do.
Such joy. Yeah. It is very clear. All of his pieces have a range of joy and serenity to them, where some of them are calmer and some of them are more energetic, but all of it's coming from a very genuinely happy place. And yeah, you feel it when you look at them and you feel it when you speak to Jeffrey himself.
So we walked up to the quarry, and just to see his expression was like a kid in the candy shop. And from his joy and excitement, it just rubbed off on me.
The emotions that I experience with Jeffrey's work is just sort of surprise and whimsy. They make me smile.
Jeffrey has so creatively taken the physical parts of metal, boulders, earth kinds of qualities, and brought the humanistic relationship through the hard work and the effervescence of the creativity that expounds from it.
Jeff has such creativity and imagination, and it comes out in all of his work. And it's who he is. And I think that's what I love the most.
There's an anthropomorphic quality to things that you see. Like there's ones called Over the Top. To me, it looks like a turtle looking for his head. So I try to, you know, put a creature, as it were, a living creature into every work of art and see how he's bent it in his own way as a toy person, that the same thing is evidenced in what he does as a sculptor.
But it comes across as something very, very special because the way he puts these things together in a very, very whimsy way. That nature, because he takes everything from nature. He loves nature. We know Jeffrey personally, and yet he's an engineer.
I've also seen a remarkable evolution in this work as well. From fairly simple pieces to now more complex, and I think they actually speak to you more in terms of some of the emotional qualities. I mean, hard to think of stone and steel reflecting love and friendship, and yet that's what we see.
He has the golden rods coming out with the rocks on it, and the music of Sting, the mixture of the traditional and the modern, the softness of the wood, the hardness of the rock. It's very, to me, it touches me just in terms of its sheer beauty and also the creative genius behind it.
Where I'm going from this stage forward, the great fun for me is I don't know. I mean, that's the joy of it. When I was doing one phase, realistic bronze, I thought that's where I'd be. When I was doing the second phase, I thought, so I know enough to know that I'm not going to be where I am right at the moment. Where I'm going is the surprise that I'm looking for, that's all.